Hey, Wixman Ray here. Today is, what do we got? Thursday, March 12th, 2026. It's 11:20 p.m. where I'm at. I'm up late because I just got off of work. So I work part-time. So yeah, so my shift went till 11. So I'm doing a late video today and I might do one tomorrow, maybe in the morning. We'll see. But yeah, the southern half of the United States really quiet out here. This is our infrared satellite. Since it's nighttime, this is one of two that I usually use. Um, so, and across Florida, South Florida here, there's a little bit of clouds and maybe some showers lingering out there, but I think it's gone to bed for the night down there. This is the old frontal system we had that brought severe weather across the eastern half of the U.S. over the last couple of days. So we got this strong low pressure up here. Looks like the low's spinning up in the middle part of Minnesota there. Very powerful winds around it. I've seen gusts upwards of 60, 70 miles an hour with this storm. So a lot of high wind warnings are out um, via the National Weather Service out through some of these parts tonight. Um, Most of the snow is up here in the northern tier back into this area. We'll show you that later on. Um, not any kind of Gulf moisture tapping into this system as the flow in the southern portion is out of the desert southwest, so that's dry air. And so, yeah. And then this stuff kind of down in this general area, this is just high level clouds. We got some pretty strong winds going across the terrain, the mountains through here, and that'll cause some wave action, as I like to call it. And you get turbulent conditions if you're flying in a you know airplane over this part of the country, and and that translates into these higher clouds. Some of them are mid-level clouds. So yeah, so that's what we got going on there. And then up here into the Pacific Northwest, some rain, lower elevation rain, mountain snow, and then back into Montana, we've got a good bit of snow back in here. I think most of the even lower elevation is down below freezing now. So we'll take a look at that. Let me show you one other thing I like to show you. Nighttime microphysics. I think I've showed you this once or twice if you've been around my channel for a bit. Um, so this is mostly useful for seeing, distinguishing like lower clouds, if fog's developing, those kind of things. So you can kind of see some lower clouds moving across parts of Florida down here with these lighter, whitish looking clouds. Um, Farther up north, this is lower cloud. It appears more orange or yellow, like back here, depending on the temperatures. So when it's colder, it appears, more in these kind of colors. So then we've got a little bit of fog and what we call the stratus low clouds hugging some parts of the northern California coast out there. This ain't the best depiction of it, but that's what's going on there. Otherwise, we're just seeing a lot of these high clouds associated with what we looked at earlier. So, all right, enough of that. Looking at our surface observations, just a quick recap. This channel, my vision for this channel is not only just to give you like a daily or daily weather update for the next few days, but I also like to teach you a couple things if maybe you didn't know about it. So what we're looking at here is this is the surface observations courtesy of the Aviation Weather Center, which is part of the National Weather Service, and I worked there for a couple years before I retired from the National Weather Service. But these are basically automated weather sites that you're seeing here, and then they get plotted on this map from their respective locations. And They report, so this is like right here, this is your temperature, this is your dew point, this is your visibility, so that's 10 plus miles, statute miles, and these are in Fahrenheit. This circle here just shows you if there's cloud cover or not. If it's These are just for different aircraft categories. For aviators will understand this for like VFR, IFR type conditions, MVFR. Um, so, but that's just aviation lingo. A normal, what regular person probably doesn't know what that means. And then when you see them like this, where they're clear, that means there's no clouds reported, or at least no clouds below 12,000 feet, because that's as high as all these sensors will sense up to. So, anyways, that's just a quick review. And then where you see these two red dots, that's the symbol for rain. That's for light rain. Um, if you see this, you see four of these like asterisk symbols. That's snow. That means heavy snow. If you see two of the asterisk-like symbols, that means light snow. And then if you see three of either the rain or the snow, then that means moderate. So just a quick tutorial. Oh, and just so you know, these two red lines, that means there's fog going on at that particular location. So yeah, just a quick tutorial there. So we got our radar overlaid on our surface observation map. So looks like a good chunk of rain. It's a little bit cool out there, 36 in Seattle. So they're not too far from the snow threshold here. Definitely the higher elevations are seeing snow out there in Washington. Looks like a little bit of snow up there in that's Spokane. Yeah, Spokane, Washington. And then some light to occasionally moderate and heavy snow back here in parts of Montana. Looks like most of Montana is below freezing. There's a couple sites here that are above, but doesn't look like much is coming out of the cloud there. So anyway, so that's what you're seeing there. As you get farther south, not much going on. There's a couple random, looks like showers going on. Looks like it's warm enough out here. Is that Jackson Hole, Wyoming, where it's raining? So yeah. So some warmer airs down south here. So it's nighttime out here, and look at that. I mean, it's still pretty warm across good half of the southern half of California. Vegas is 68 this evening, and it's almost midnight, 78 at Phoenix. So you can see what the temperatures probably were in the daytime, probably approaching 90 at least. So definitely next week, we'll talk about that. It's going to get a lot warmer across the west. Yeah. So we'll kind of skim through this. The big news is we had this system out here, but we've got these winds back here. We still got some gusts. It looks like up to 50 in parts of Wyoming there, and that they're always blowing out here along the I-80 corridor, gusting up to 50, 60 miles an hour. So it's pretty crazy there. But yeah, with this low pressure, there's some pretty strong winds still gusting up in the 40 to 50 mile an hour range, most sites. So, and then they've got a little bit of lingering light snow. Actually, this looks like it's rain. It's warm enough for rain through here. So, yeah, most of this is above freezing. But yeah, we got some looks like some rain going on here through Illinois, Iowa. So it looks like the rain snow line is way up here into northern part of Wisconsin, and way up into northern Minnesota there when the temperatures are dropped below freezing. So most of the snow right now is back in this general area, and then into the UP of Michigan. And then a little bit back here, it's cold enough for some snow back here. So that's that strong system I showed you on satellite there. Elsewhere, there's some lingering light snow across the Northeast. Flurries or light snow, but nothing too significant going on there. And then let's just check. Yeah, it looks like maybe a couple showers out over the parts of South Florida. I think that's the area. What's that called? Alligator Alley or something down there. So a few showers down there, but still relatively warm, 60s and 70s. A little bit cooler up north, man. If you're up here vacationing for spring break, it's chilly. 40s and 50s up here in the northern part tonight at midnight up there at the crowds are out there partying or whatever they're doing this late at night. I'm usually not up this late. So that's what's going on there. That's all I'll say on that one. Today we'll look at the European model. We've always looked at the GFS American model. They're the models are in really good agreement, so we'll just kind of go with this. So we'll kind of start with this system. So this is right now that low that was out there in Minnesota. So we'll just truck on through. This is midday Friday. It's probably, this is roughly about, yeah, midday to early afternoon on the East Coast anyways, and Central Time. So there's still some snow lingering back here through midday. It starts to move into New York. So you'll get a few inches of snow. Still really windy across this, especially across Wisconsin. There's be some, parts of Iowa, Illinois. Pretty gusty all down through here, especially in this colder sector and where the westerlies are. So, yeah, that's going to be a real windy system there. Um, we'll go back to this storm later. I want to finish this one up. So we go into tomorrow night, and the lows kind of moved up into southern Canada. I think that's Ontario there, maybe Quebec. I can't quite tell where the border, or it's near the borderline, but regardless, yeah, so they're still pretty wrapped up. It's going to be windy in parts of Michigan, some lingering snow up across parts of northern and eastern Michigan. And then you got a little bit of snow up in the northeast, but this system is starting to what we call fill, the low's kind of weakening. That's what we call it when the low weakens, it fills. That's a meteorological term. So just so you know that. Whoops. Come on, Ray. Get rid of that. All right. My laptop is sensitive to touch on the screen, so anytime I touch close enough, it does that. So this is going into Friday night and Saturday. So this is Saturday morning. So that low kind of starts pushing off um, to the northeast or to the east. Still some lingering snow across the northeast, but that pretty much winds down as we go through the day on Saturday. So that's all we'll say about that system, and it continues to fill or weaken. So we'll go back in time here. So this will we'll go back. So we'll put this at tomorrow. So this is tomorrow afternoon, according to the European model. And you can see a lot of rain out here, some mountain snows and these areas, and then mostly snow out through parts of, the Dakotas and Montana as we go into tomorrow. And that kind of just stays in that same general area. Looks like on Friday night, Saturday, it starts to stretch a little more into the Dakotas, but it's real light at this point. But about right here is where this low starts forming. So this is our next big weather producer. So this is Saturday afternoon, going into the evening, and then through the overnight hours. And so we start getting some really good bands of moderate to heavy snow developing across the Dakotas into Minnesota and back into Wisconsin. This one will bring snow a little farther south than the system that we're seeing tonight and tomorrow. So, and then more snow back in Wyoming too. So, and very windy. So it's going to be windy back here in the Dakotas, parts of Montana, Wyoming, and even out here in the plains ahead of it from Texas, whoops, through Oklahoma. Oh, come on. Sorry. And then, up into Missouri. So it's going to be real windy, at least pretty stout winds in through here, but not as quite as strong as what we're going to see back here. But that's Saturday night. So going through the day on Saturday. So actually, sorry, that was the day off. That was Saturday night. Did I say so? I can't remember what I said. It's late. So going into the day on Sunday. So we see this low, so they're going to probably get a good chunk of snow from parts of the eastern Dakotas into Minnesota, Wisconsin, the UP. I mean, we could probably see a foot plus, maybe up to 2 feet. I was just taking a quick look at the model's estimate. So there's going to be a lot of heavy snow up here. So Winter's not over up there yet. Groundhog was right. And very windy still. And the wind even gets back into Nebraska, the front range of the Rockies in Colorado, and back into Kansas. And that snow kind of dips down into Nebraska and parts of Iowa. And I forgot to mention, so through the day on Sunday, some thunderstorms will get developing, especially in the afternoon and evening. And so we could see some severe thunderstorms, I think, from this down through eastern Oklahoma, maybe even up into Illinois. I think the Storm Prediction Center had kind of drawn southern Missouri and the southern tip of Illinois and then this general area. But just looking at the latest, it may be a little farther north. That's just my my educated analysis of that. And then there'll be some, isolated to scattered just showers and thunderstorms across the southeast on Sunday as the Gulf moisture pumps back inland. So, yeah, and it's still ongoing snow. You know, the some of the models were bringing this snow clear down to like Kansas City on Sunday. So I'm going to switch this over. You can see that good line of thunderstorms. So that's going to be going good on Sunday afternoon, evening. So severe thunderstorms, another chance out through that area. So you heard it here. Hold on, let me switch over to that GFS model and show you what I'm talking about. Unless they've kind of earlier runs were having it farther south. Yeah, so you can see right there. This is by Sunday evening, afternoon, evening. Looks like the snow will reach all the way down into parts of Kansas, towards Kansas City, even farther south possibly. So, and then looks like a transition zone of some mixed winter weather. But yeah, some heavy snows from all back through here. Even Iowa may get in on some heavy snow. So we might see a couple inches down, through, Omaha, at least a few inches, and then down into Kansas City too, and parts of Kansas. So, yeah. So this is a Sunday afternoon, evening time frame. So that thing's trucking along, very wound up. Another powerful spring low pressure system. So it looks like the low sitting, out there near eastern Illinois or western parts of Illinois. And then that's Sunday night into Monday morning. So we still got the lingering snow clear back into northern Missouri, Illinois, all back through here. So this definitely could dump a pretty good bit of snow, especially up, you know, closer to that low where that low was tracking. Even on the back side, they're showing it. You may not get snow down here in Mississippi, but I mean, it's indicating there's a chance down here, just a brief chance. But for sure, you're going to get colder, a big push of cold air as we head in, overnight into Monday morning across parts of the South, even into Texas a little bit here. So this whole part of the country, basically from Montana and east of the Rockies, basically, it's going to be cold Sunday and Monday. And once this passes through, the rest of the eastern half will get colder too. So yeah, it looks like by Monday the thunderstorms will move out towards the east. It looks like the threat of severe weather will probably be in the Mid-Atlantic, maybe down into South Carolina. At least that's what the Storm Prediction Center is predicting. It could go a little farther south depending on how quick this system moves out. So, you know, I guess all bets are off. Anywhere probably from say Pennsylvania, New Jersey southward, or somewhere in that general area, or at least DC area southward, you could see some severe thunderstorms out of this thing. But by Monday night, the whole front starts to move offshore, and then you got the backside of the snow. So you can see there's a good band that develops, especially as it butts up against the Appalachians late on Monday afternoon, evening, and there's some lingering snow on the backside still. Very windy too on the backside too. Let's not forget that. So windy, cold, and some lingering snow up here to New York and Pennsylvania. as we go into the Monday night and Tuesday morning. So, yeah, by Tuesday midday, according to this model, most of the U.S., at least the eastern half, is out of the snow. There's some lingering stuff up into Maine and maybe out here in what is this, Cape Cod, or I think that's Cape Cod. And then it looks like maybe we might get some lake effects developing by Tuesday out here off the lakes, with that cold air coming across. So yeah, we won't talk about the next system. Really, after this system, the systems look a lot weaker. So once we get through this one on early next week, it starts gets going over the weekend across the middle part of the country. But by the early, Monday and Tuesday, it'll clear the East Coast, and then most of it, anyways. And we'll see better weather. It will be colder than normal across here, at least for the first part of next week. And yeah, even that, I mean, that cold air even started coming in on Sunday. So, and then the western half out here, starting next week, we're going to start seeing some 80s. I mean, up into, Nevada, Utah, probably 90s down here in Southern Cal and Arizona and parts of New Mexico. So it's going to get very warm. Strong high pressure is going to develop out west next week. So they'll probably see several days of warm, very warm, almost summer-like weather out there across the west. So yeah, so that's your weather update. I appreciate you for being here. Most of you probably won't see this till tomorrow or whenever you watch this, but hey, have a great one. And this is Wixman Ray out.